Okay, so have you been putting, tons of effort into your content, watching it climb the Google ranks, feeling pretty good about it?
Mhm.
But then you look at your traffic stats and you're just scratching your head because, well, the visitors aren't showing up like they used to.
Hmm.
You are definitely not imagining things. We've heard this, we're seeing it too.
Yeah, it's a real phenomenon.
Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're getting into Google's new AI overviews. What are they exactly? Why do they seem to be, well, stealing clips? And crucially, what can you actually do about it? We've looked at some sources that have some, frankly, surprising facts about this whole shift.
That's right. And it's important to stress this isn't some, minor interface change.
Yeah.
For anyone really relying on web traffic, bloggers, content creators, marketers, this is pretty fundamental. It changes how people get information and interact with search results.
It really impacts their presence, maybe even their bottom line.
Absolutely. Their livelihood for
Yeah.
many.
So before we get into the, let's say, the fallout, let's just clarify. What are Google AI overviews? What's the big deal here?
Okay, so Google rolled these out officially, widely, in May 2024. Think of them as AI-generated summaries, smart summaries, right at the top of the search results.
Right at the top.
Yeah, prime real estate. They pull info from different websites, give you a kind of mini answer right there on the Google page.
Ah, so you don't necessarily need to click through anymore.
Exactly. And that's the core issue, the reason it's such a game changer for website traffic, or maybe traffic loss.
I can see the problem brewing. Okay, so what's the data showing? What's the immediate hit been like for creators?
The immediate impact.
Hmm.
It's pretty quantifiable and honestly a bit concerning. We looked at research from places like Ahrefs and AMSIV.
Okay.
Ahrefs found that for results in position #1, the very top organic spot, they lose something like 34.5% of their clicks if an AI overview shows up for that search.
Wow, over a third. Just gone.
It's just gone. And AMSIV backed this up. They reported an average click-through rate drop, CTR drop, of about 15.5%.
Hmm.
But for some searches, it was way worse, like a 37% slump.
47%.
Yeah, especially if there was also a featured snippet involved. So putting it together, even if you rank #1, you might be seeing roughly 30% fewer visitors than before. It's a significant chunk.
Okay, 30%. That's going to hurt. I can practically hear people groaning. So this is where it gets really interesting for me. Who's feeling this squeeze the most? Is it hitting everyone equally?
Good question. And no, it's not equal. The research suggests it's really hitting non-branded and informational queries the hardest.
Meaning like how-to questions.
Exactly. AMSIC saw CTR drops close to 20% just in that category. Uri's confirmed it too. They said it's mostly for, everyday questions, not so much when you search for a specific brand name.
Okay.
Think how to fix a leaky faucet versus Nike shoes. You're much more likely to get an AI overview for the faucet question.
Right, makes sense.
Interestingly, branded searches, like for Nike, actually saw clicks go up by about 18% when an AI overview appeared. But that only happens for about 5% of branded searches, so it's rare.
So the vast majority,
Yeah.
the informational stuff, that's where the pain is.
That's where the pain is. And there's another effect, too, sort of a cascading effect. These AI overviews, they take up space. They push the regular blue links down the page.
Oh, they're down.
Yeah. AMSIV found that results outside the top 3 spots saw their click-through rate drop by 27%. So if you aren't already in the top few positions, you're now getting buried even further below the fold.
Meaning people have to scroll just to even see your link.
Right. And if they got their answer from the AI summary, why would they scroll?
Yeah, exactly. Which brings us to Google's side of this. They're saying, aren't they, that these AI overviews give higher quality clicks and that links inside the summaries get more clicks. How does that square with the numbers you just gave?
It's a bit of a disconnect, isn't it? Google does make that claim. Maybe from their view, the clicks they do send are more targeted, or maybe they count clicks on the links within the AI overview differently.
Okay.
But the overall data, the trend we're seeing from independent analysis, shows total organic clicks are falling, not rising. And for publishers, for creators, that's the number that really matters for, ad revenue, affiliate sales, email signups.
Right, the total volume is down, even if Google thinks the quality of the remaining clicks is higher.
Precisely. It's a major issue for anyone relying on that organic traffic stream.
This really feels like it's pouring fuel on a fire that was already burning, this idea of zero-click searches, where someone searches, gets the answer right there on Google and never clicks a link. We've seen it for years with, weather forecasts, sports scores, dictionary definitions.
Simple facts, yeah.
Yeah.
Like asking 5 plus 7.
Exactly. So how do these AI overviews take that zero-click thing to a whole new level?
Well, they basically apply that zero-click experience to much more complex questions. Questions that before you absolutely had to click through to a detailed blog post or article to understand.
Can you give an example?
Sure. Let's say you search for something like how to write cold emails for sales.
Right.
Previously, you'd scan the top results, maybe click on a couple of comprehensive guides.
Right.
Now, you might just see a paragraph or two, maybe some bullet points, maybe even a template snippet
Yeah.
generated by Google's AI right at the top. It's pulled that info from various sites, maybe even yours.
Ah, so the user gets the core information.
They get the value, the answer they were looking for, or at least a good starting point, but they get it without ever landing on your website.
Okay, so the implications of that are pretty significant then.
Huge. It fundamentally changes the game.
Yeah.
First, ranking #1 doesn't automatically mean traffic anymore. You could be the top organic result, the source the AI even used, but get way fewer clicks than you might have gotten in position 3 last year. Second, the AI kind of rewards itself. Google puts its own AI-generated content in the best spot on the page, pushing everyone else down. It's prime real estate given to Google.
And third,
Third, and this one really stings for creators.
yeah,
You do the work, Google gets the credit. The AI pulls from your carefully researched content, but the attribution, the link back, isn't always prominent or clear. Users might get the info without ever knowing it came from your expertise.
it's like you bake a cake and someone else puts it in a fancy box with their logo and hands out slices.
That's a pretty good analogy, yeah. You're providing the ingredients, the recipe, the labor, but they're controlling the storefront.
So thinking about that storefront,
Yeah.
what does this mean for, say, the small blogger, the independent creator? Are they feeling this more sharply than like a big media company?
Oh, absolutely. It hits small creators particularly hard for a few reasons. First, they are so reliant on that free organic Google traffic. They usually don't have big marketing budgets. Their blog is their main channel.
It's their storefront, like you said.
Exactly. It's how they build an email list,
Yeah.
earn some ad revenue, maybe make affiliate commissions. If that traffic drops 20, 30%, that's a direct hit to their viability.
And it's probably harder for them to build authority now, too.
Definitely. Think about it. How do you get known? People need to find your content, engage with it, maybe link back to it. But if the AI overview intercepts the user before they even see your link,
You never get discovered.
right, it creates this really tough cycle.
Right.
No traffic means no engagement. No engagement makes it harder to rank or build authority, which means even less traffic. It's like trying to grow a plant, but someone keeps putting a shade over it.
That's a tough spot. And you mentioned viability. The financial side must be significant, too.
For sure. That 20, 30% traffic reduction we talked about,
Yeah.
for a small blogger, that could literally be the difference between making enough to cover hosting costs and, well, not, especially if it's a side hustle or running on really tight margins.
And long term. Does this discourage people from even starting?
That's probably the biggest long-term danger, I think. If creating high-quality, independent content doesn't get rewarded with traffic because Google's AI just summarizes it,
Yeah.
why would new voices bother?
Yeah.
We could see a decline in the diversity, the creativity, the personality that makes the web interesting. And the real irony is,
What's that?
the AI needs that human-created content to learn from to generate its summaries in the first place. It's feeding on the very ecosystem it might be undermining.
Okay, wow. That paints a pretty challenging picture. So let's pivot. Let's unpack this. What can people do? If you're a creator listening to this, what are the strategies to adapt, maybe even thrive here?
Right, it's not all doom and gloom. There are definitely things you can do. First, you can try to optimize for the AI overviews
How you do that?
by using things like schema markup, that's structured data code that helps Google understand your content better. Also using clear headings, maybe FAQ sections. You're basically giving Google very clear signals it can easily pull quotes or points from.
Okay, make it easy for the AI to quote you, maybe with a link.
Potentially. Second, offer value beyond simple facts. Go deeper. Provide unique examples, original research, in-depth analysis, maybe videos or other multimedia that an AI can't just summarize away easily.
Make it something they have to experience on your site.
Exactly. Third, focus more on conversion, not just clicks. If fewer people are visiting, you need to make more of each visit. So strong internal calls to action, prominent email sign-up forms, valuable lead magnets.
Like a free checklist or ebook.
Yeah, something valuable they give their email for.
Yeah.
The goal is get them onto your list, build that direct relationship, even if overall traffic dips.
Smart. What else?
Fourth, Go niche or target long-tail keywords. Those are the really specific multi-word search phrases. AI overviews tend to pop up more for broader questions. If you target something super specific, you might fly under the AI radar.
Avoid the crowded main streets, find the alleyways.
Kind of, yeah. And finally, track your performance meticulously. Use Google Search Console, it's free. Watch your clicks and impressions for your important keywords. See if CTR drops when an AI overview appears. That data tells you where you need to adapt.
Those are really practical steps. Now, what about specifically for those small bloggers we talked about, the ones really feeling the pressure? Any particular advice for them?
Yeah, for them, I'd say first, don't give up. Seriously. It's changing, but there's still immense value in independent voices. Focus on what the AI can't replicate easily.
Which
Your
is
personality, your unique stories, your specific case studies, your genuine opinions, the community you build around your content, that human connection.
lean into being human.
Exactly. Build that loyal email list. That's your direct line, independent of Google's whims. Be relatable, be authentic. In a world filling up with AI summaries, real connection is becoming an even bigger asset.
So, building on that, the final survival strategies would be
1. Build that direct relationship email, maybe a community forum, social media where you actually interact. 2. Offer value beyond surface-level answers, deep dives, original data, actionable case studies. And 3. Use content formats. AI struggles with video, interactive tools, very personal narratives, maybe even podcasts.
that makes a lot of sense. So, wrapping this up, the big takeaway seems to be Google's AI overviews are undeniably changing the search landscape. Ranking #1 isn't the golden ticket it used to be, and zero-click searches are becoming more common for complex topics now. If you're feeling that squeeze, well, you're definitely not alone.
That's the key message. But also remember, while search engines evolve and AI gets smarter, your audience is still human. People still crave authenticity. They want real connection. They're looking for unique insights they can trust.
So the challenge is making sure your human advice, your unique perspective, can still cut through the noise and be found.
Precisely. It's about ensuring your value proposition is clear and compelling enough that people want to click through, or that you connect with them directly in other ways.
Right. So maybe the final thought for everyone listening is, what's that unique human element you can bring? What can you offer that an AI summary just fundamentally cannot replicate? Because that might just be your superpower in this evolving digital world.